Hello, everyone, and welcome to this month's A Plus study group. So we're kind of doing our study group a little early, but as many of you may know, I am actually getting ready to take my 902 exam, the second exam in the two exam series, this week, or actually this upcoming week. So I kind of pushed our A Plus study group a little ahead, and I have even more questions than normal prepared for you guys. So with that said, let's dive right on in. If you're like me and studying for your A plus certification or any other IT certification, make sure and check out Pluralsight. With over 5,000 different IT courses to offer and key tools such as practice exams and mobile content, Pluralsight is one of the leading IT e-learning platform. Use the link in the description below to receive a free 10-day trial. Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning into this month's A Plus study group. I got a few more things to get ready here, but we're going to get started diving right on into this month's A Plus study group, where I have about 15, 20 or so questions. I actually lost track of how many questions I got ready for you guys. Definitely over, I think, 15 questions this month. And we'll go through and kind of just like, I want you guys to treat this like you're in an exam. No Googling, no nothing. And just test your knowledge and see, these are all questions you might face or types of, similar questions you might face on the 901 or 902 series exams. So the goal here is really just to help you guys better prepare yourself for taking the CompTIA A plus exam. Now, with that said, this is more focused towards the 901 and 902. But the new 10 series exam that just came out isn't much different. So with that said, I see people are already starting to tune in. I'm going to go ahead and dive right on in here. So I'm just going to check a few things. It looks like the stream is good. Hello there, Joe. Hello there, Tyler. Thank you for tuning in. Alrighty. And let's see here. Okay, so with that said, let's dive right on in. First question. A technician contacts you and says he is needing assistance. He needs to access to the system recovery option in Windows 7 computer. Which procedure or special key should he use? So a technician contacts you and says he needs to access the system recovery option on a Windows 7 PC. Which procedure or special key should he use? So your options are, and I will say all these questions today are multiple choice, but on the actual CompTIA exam, you'll have multiple choice. You'll have performance-based questions. You'll have fill in the blank. But for this kind of atmosphere, it's really kind of hard to do some of those, so we're just going to stick with the performance, the multiple choice answer. So if you think you have an idea what the answer is, feel free to drop it into the chat, and we'll just keep this thing going. So if you're just joining in, thanks for tuning in. I see Kevin runs on Duncan. Nick, how's it going? So the question right now, very first question. A technician contacts you and says he is needing to access a system recovery option on a Windows 7 computer. Which procedure or special key should he use? So your options are A. Press F2 during the text mode of booting. B. Press F6 during the text mode of booting. C. Press F8 during the text mode of booting. Or D. Boot from the installation CD or DVD. Nick, Tyler, welcome you guys. Depends on the motherboard though. Well, this is very specific. Accessing system recovery options on a Windows 7 computer. So I think I know what you're talking about, Tyler, but that's not quite what we're looking for. So I'm going to go ahead and display the answer here. So the correct answer is actually D. So we're looking to get into system recovery. A lot of you guys are talking F8, F2. That's more or less to enter your BIOS. You're looking to enter your BIOS. The true way on a Windows 7 PC to enter the system recovery options, you have to actually insert the original boot CD or DVD, or one that you guys created as well. So that is that correct answer there is D. All right, next question. A user contacts you in regards to his Windows Update settings on his Windows 7 computer. He wants Windows Update set back up to its default settings. Which setting would you use, or which settings would you configure? So you have a user on a Windows 7 PC, and they want to reset back up the Windows Update settings back to their default settings. Which one below setting would you use? A, install updates automatically. B, never check for updates. C, download updates but let me choose whether to install them. Or D, check for updates but let me choose whether to download and install them. So what is the default setting out of the box on a Windows 7 PC for Windows updates? That's the question here. Anyone got any ideas here? Excuse me, I'm going to pop the chat up and bring it over. Sorry. A. I've seen a lot of A's. And as a matter of fact, that is the correct option. So Windows 7 straight out of the box is install updates automatically. So it does sound like a default setting Windows would want. All right, next question. What should you do if you discover inappropriate material on a company-owned computer and a company computer use policy exists that address that specific situation? So what should you do if you discover some inappropriate material on a company-owned computer and your company has a policy in place to address that specific situation? And these are all things that are on the CompTIA A+ objectives too. So that's where all these questions today came from, right out of the A+ objectives. So inappropriate material on a company-owned laptop. Your company has a computer use policy and a use policy that addresses a specific situation. Should you A, ask the user to remove inappropriate material? B, inform the user supervisor of the inappropriate material? C, follow the procedure for dealing with this violation? Or D, inform your supervisor of the inappropriate material? So if some of you haven't checked them out yet, I'm going to drop a link here in the chat to the 901 and 902 objectives, the A+ objectives. So you guys can go check them out. If you guys are studying yourself or brushing up on what's on the exam, these two links here I just dropped in the chat will take you straight to the CompTIA A+ objectives. And the objectives tell you everything that CompTIA expects you to know for the exam. So, alrighty. So it looks like a lot of people C sounds like CompTIA. So the correct answer is indeed C. Follow the procedure for dealing with this violation. You know, I actually took a practice exam and had a question very similar to this. And I misread it or, didn't quite think it all the way through, but I answered D because I was thinking, well, if at work I came across that situation, I'd just go to my supervisor and tell him. But that's not really the best answer. CompTIA wants you to answer the best answer. If you already have, your company has a policy in place that addresses this, you should do what the policy says. And that's not only to do the right thing, but you're also looking out for yourself so you don't get caught up in a bad situation. So the correct answer here was C. All right, which statement is true regarding smart cards? Smart cards. A, smart cards can be deactivated and replaced. Smart cards can be infrared. C, smart cards are used only as hotel room keys. Or D, smart cards do not contain a microprocessor. Which one is true? I see some questions starting to roll in here. So I'm going to do this study group a little bit differently. So if you actually look down the description of the video, if you have any questions regarding anything else other than the study group currently, there's actually a link that takes you to a forum where you can submit your questions there. And once we're done with this, the Q&A part of the study group, and we open up to an Ask Me Anything, I'm going to go through all those questions submitted in there. So in the meantime, if you got any questions not regarding to this study group, make sure and leave them in the forum below. We'll answer them during the Ask Me Anything. So alrighty, so looks like tons of people are tuning in. If you guys are just tuning in, this is this month's A Plus study group, where I prepare about 15 to 20 questions in regards to the A Plus 901 and 902 series exams, and we go over them and talk about them. And then after the study group, after we get through these 15, 20 questions, we'll open this up to an Ask Me Anything. So you can ask me questions about getting into the IT field, ask me, my personal path, any recommendations I have for certifications, and so on. So, alrighty. Well, I think this one's pretty self-explanatory here. Which statements are true regarding smart cards? The correct answer was A. Smart cards can be deactivated or replaced. Alrighty. Next question. A user wants to be able to restore his Windows 7 system files to an earlier point in time. He asks that you ensure that a restore point is created every day at the same time. Which tool should you use to schedule the restore point creation? So which tool are we using to reschedule a restore point creation? Volume Shadow Copy Service. B. System Restore. C. msconfig. Or D. Task Scheduler. So a user wants to be able to restore his Windows 7 system files to an earlier point in time. He asks you to ensure that a restore point is created every day at the same time. Which tool are we using to schedule this restore point creation? I'm seeing a couple different answers coming in. I always like that. No going out and Googling this. You always can tell. The people who truly know it, they'll start answering right away, and then the people who had to go out and Google it, those answers come in a couple seconds later. So treat this like a regular exam. If you don't know, just guess. If you do know, go ahead and put the answers in the chat below. Alrighty. So I think we've let enough time go by. Let's go ahead and reveal this answer. So the correct answer here is D. You'd use Task Scheduler to create system restore point, to schedule the system restore point creation. So, awesome. I'm glad everyone's chiming in. And if you have, if you know the answer, feel free to drop it in the chat. If you don't, just guess. That's one thing about the CompTIA A+ exam. If you don't have all the answers, just guess. They're not going to mark you down points if you guess wrong. But if you don't put anything at all, they're going to ding you on that. You have to read the questions carefully. Yeah, we're talking about scheduling, not restoring. So, alrighty. On your first day as I'm sorry about the typo. On your first day as an A+ technician, you observe your boss executing the command check disk. Which statement is true about this utility? Sorry about just disregard this here. So we're just gonna I'm not gonna even bother. So on your first day as an A+ technician, you observe your boss executing the command check disk. Which statement is true about this utility? A. It detects and fixes system errors on a window disk. B. It rearranges a file and enables it to occupy continuous space on the drive. C. This is a command line utility that is not available in Windows Vista or later. Or D. It detects Windows disk errors but does not fix the errors. That requires scan disk utility. So, what statement is true about the command check disk? So this is one thing that's right in the A+ objectives. Is actually list this command check this. Not only you need to know what it does, but how to implement it and when to implement it. Tons of people chiming in here. That's awesome. And we got a good spread of answers here. So this one may have stumped a couple people. So the correct answer is A. It detects and fixes files in a Windows system or in a Windows disk. So B, it rearranges files to enable it to occupy continuous space on the disk. That sounds more like a disk defrag to me. And D, that could catch up a couple people. It detects Windows disk errors, but fixing the errors requires a scan disk utility. Check disk, it's one of those weird tools that, I know Windows had a couple of tools like that where, one command would just check and the other command would check and fix. So I can see where some people got stuck up by the verbiage on that. But the correct answer is A. So next question. Which of the following is not an internet appliance? So internet appliance, which of the following is not? This is a security-based question. And that there alone is a pretty big tip. Which one of the following is not an security or is not an internet appliance? A, ISP. B, IDS. C, DNS. Or D, UTM. So this is kind of one of those areas where the security plus and the A plus kind of overlap a little bit. So, oh, Kevin. I've got a lot of D's coming in. Oh, some people are changing their answers. And that's okay. Like I said, if you don't know it, just answer it to your best of the ability. Don't go out and Google it right now. Treat this like an exam. But in the real world, even with the real exam, you want to answer this with your, if you don't know, just guess. Pick one. There's a 1 in 4 chance of being correct here. So, alrighty. Well, I'm going to go ahead and reveal it. D is the correct answer. Which of the following is not, oops. Let's see if we can go back here. Not an internet appliance. So C is the correct answer. DNS. The DNS stands for Domain Name Service. So let me see if I can pull this up here. Oh. I think I lost my notes here. Sorry guys, stay with me. All right. So a lot of you are answering D. D stands for UTM stands for Unified Threat Management. So Unified Threat Management devices are internet appliances. They provide a single point on the network which multiple security functions are managed. This single point of presence is in contrast to several independent software or devices such as antivirus, anti-spam, firewall, IDS, or IPS. So, and actually, I apologize. A was supposed to be IPS, not ISP. ISP is Internet Service Provider, but no one picked A, so we're good here. A would technically have been a correct answer as well. So, it was supposed to be IPS here, not ISP. IPS stands for Internet Prevention System or Intrusion Prevention System, which is an internet appliance that sits inline the network while performing many same duties as an IDS. See right here, IDS. And IPS also prevents the offending traffic instead of just detecting it. So that gives you a hint what an IDS is, Internet Intrusion or Intrusion Detection System, where an intrusion detection system just detects of something possibly going wrong and notifies you. An IPS actually prevents the thing. So, and then DNS, Domain Name Service. So that's why it is not an internet appliance. So, Unified Threat Management. Alrighty. Feel like that associate. IPS. Yeah, I kind of screwed up, but you know what? I would have accepted. I would have accepted that as a correct answer because it is not technically an internet appliance. So I would have accepted that. All right, next question. Moving on. A user reports to you that he accidentally deleted a Windows 7 library. He is worried that he has lost all the data in the library. What should you tell him? A. The data must be restored from a restore point. B. The data is available because it's actually stored in another location. C. The data must be restored from the latest backups. Or D. The data must be restored from the recycling bin. Okay, so we have a user here. He accidentally deleted his Windows 7 library. He's worried that he's lost all the data. What should you tell him? What should you tell him actually has happened here? A, that the data has to be restored from a restore point. B, the data is actually available because it's actually stored in another location. C, the data must be restored from the latest backups. Or D, the data must be restored from the recycling bin. So Windows 7 library. Hopefully that there gives you a big hint. Excuse me. Still quite haven't got over this little cold I got. All right, so we got a good spread of answers here. So let's go ahead and reveal it. So the correct answer is B. The data is actually still there. It hasn't been deleted because it's stored in another location. So that is the correct answer. D for fun. Awesome. Alrighty, we're cruising right along here. If you guys are just tuning in, this is this month's A Plus study group where I prepare about 15 to 20 questions in a Q&A style study group. And then after our study group, I'll open the chat up to an Ask Me Anything where you can ask me anything in regards to the IT field, getting into the IT field, what certifications should you take, and so on. So Tyler, it's all a learning experience. That's why I do this. This is why I do it, to help people learn. Oh, I didn't mean to click that, but let's go ahead and go on to the next question. When a user logs into the network locally, they must provide their username and password. When a user logs into the network remotely, they must provide their username, password, and a smart card. Which two statements are true regarding your organization's security? So we're looking for two answers here, an A, B, or a A, D, or a C, D, two answers here. What two statements are true? A, the remote network login uses three-factor authentication. B, the remote network login uses two-factor authentication. C, the local network login uses two-factor authentication. Or D, the local network login uses a one-factor authentication. So we're looking for two answers here. An A, B, a B, C, a C, D, or, two answers. What two things are true about the following statement? When a user logs into the network locally, they must provide a username and password. When a user logs onto the network remotely, they must provide a username, password, and a smart card. Which two statements are true regarding your organization's security? I think I may have thrown people off with the counting it out on my fingers. All right. Everyone got their answers in? Should we reveal it? Okay. So, when the remote network network login uses two-factor authentication. So when they're saying right here, when a user logs into the network remotely, they must provide a username and password, which is one set right there, and a smart card. That's that second factor authentication. So two-factor authentication. And then when they're logging in locally, they should use a username and password. So that's technically a one-factor authentication. So the correct answers was B and D here. B and D. Looks like Tyler and Kevin runs on Duncan. Okay, you guys both got that one there. Awesome. Alrighty. Moving on to the next one, we're cruising. What is the minimum software requirement for installing iTunes on a Microsoft Windows PC? So we're not specifying anything than a Windows PC, Microsoft Windows PC. What are the minimum requirements for installing iTunes? And I thought this was a bit of an odd question, but I came across something similar in a practice exam, and I was like, I would have never known this. Here's a complete example here on kind of having to shoot in the dark. Don't go out, don't get on Google, guys. Treat this like you're in the exam environment. So just, if you don't know off the top of your head, put a guess. You just got this question on an interview, Tyler. That is awesome. They must be very much CompTIA oriented. See, if you got your A+ certification, that would help. Alrighty. So, I'll read off the answers here, or the possible answers. A, Windows Vista or later, and 100 megabytes of free disk space. B, Windows 8 or later, and a terabyte of disk space. C, Windows Vista or later, and 650 megabytes of free disk space. Or D, Windows 7 or later, and 400 megabytes of free disk space. See, you hate iTunes. A, B, or A and D. Man, we got a good variety here. So I'm curious, how many of you are actually guessing, and how many actually know this? And how many of you actually went and Googled this, even though I told you not to? Tyler, you actually have your A+. I'm just really rusty. This is one of those questions. I mean, I just got done installing iTunes on several computers because I was walking some users through resetting their iPads and getting enrolled in DEP. And I don't know. I mean, I know that I remotely installed this application on several computers, but I don't remember the requirements. But this is something that might come up on your A+ exam. So, guessing. All right. Well, let's see if your guesses were right. Looks like a lot of you guessed right. D. So Windows 7 or later, and only 400 megabytes of free disk space is what it requires. And see, look, it looks like almost everyone here is guessing it, and almost everyone got a correct answer. So there's a couple that didn't, but that's why I say if you don't know the answer, just go out there and guess. So awesome. You didn't get the job though. Did you give them the correct answer, or did you tell them? Were you honest with them and told them you didn't know? That would have been awesome if you were right there in your interview and they ask you what the requirements were and be like Windows 7 or later and at least 400 gigabytes or megabytes of free disk space. But if you would have probably answered it like that, you probably would have just wiped them off their feet. So, but anyways, that's interesting that you got that question in an interview. That's really cool, Tyler. So, alrighty, you need to ensure the GSM and G3 phone information on your Android is updated. Which type of update would you perform? So this is another thing. The CompTIA A+ not only covers Windows, but it covers Mac. It covers Linux, it covers iOS, and Android-based devices. So you have to be very well versed here. You need to ensure that your GSM and 3G information for an Android phone is updated. Which update would you perform? And I will be 100% honest with you. On my practice exam, I got a question just like this. I got it completely wrong. So, that's the point of this. So, your options are A, baseband update, B, PRL update, C, PRI update, or D, none. Alrighty. No idea, so D. That's okay. So that's kind of the point here. It seems if you don't know the answer, just put an answer in at least. Alrighty. So the correct answer is A, baseband. To be completely honest with you, I was working on my practice exam over the last week, and I picked PRL because, honestly, I have to do PRL updates on my phone. I have a Sprint base phone, and I have to do PRL updates when I travel sometimes to get it to resync with the local cell tower. So I just picked B because I didn't truly know. But the correct answer here is a baseband update. So, all right, moving on. You're creating a wireless network for your company. You will need to implement a wireless protocol that provides maximum security while providing support for older wireless clients. Which protocol should you use? Getting into a little bit of the networking part of the A plus exam. So, you're creating a wireless network for your company. You need to implement a wireless protocol that provides maximum security while providing support for older wireless clients. Which protocol should you use? WPA or Wi-Fi Protected Access. B. WAP, Wireless Application Protocol. C. WEP or Wired Equivalent Privacy. Or D, WPA2, which stands for Wi-Fi Protected Access 2. I hope no one, I was just about to say, I hope no one picks C. Nick, I'll give you a second chance. Pick another one here. So, we need to implement a wireless security protocol that provides maximum security while providing support for older wireless clients. I will say WEP does not provide almost any security. It is actually, people say it is worse than having an open network. So I'm going to give that one to you, Nick. And A, that's a good answer. That is a very good answer, Nick. Alrighty. Yes, Kevin, you nail on the head. I can't, in good conscience, recommend web to anyone. Worst encryption possible. Absolutely. Alrighty. So the correct answer is A. Way to go, Nick. Way to go pick the right one. WPA, Wireless Protected Access, is the best choice to give you maximum security while supporting older wireless clients. So, I think in about last month's official A plus study group, because we did two kind of odd ones this month. But in the last month, I went back and I go back and review it because I talked about why wireless equivalent privacy, WEP, is the worst encryption possible to put. It is truly more vulnerable than an open wireless network. So, alrighty. Next question. You want to prevent your computer from any types of electrostatic discharge, ESD, while servicing the computer. Which action should you not perform while servicing the computer? And we're going to choose two of them here. So you want to prevent your computer from any type of electrostatic discharge while servicing it. What should you not perform while servicing the computer? So I want you guys to pick two again. So if you think it's A and B, put A, B, D, C, B, D, whatever. Two answers though. All right. So going over the possibilities. A, wear an electrostatic wristband. B, wear cloth clothes. C, ensure the room in which your computer is serviced is dry and cool. D, ensure the room in which serviced is carpeted. Or E, keep your hands in contact with the bare metal frame of the computer at all times. All right, we're looking for what you should not do, okay? These are two things you do not want to do if you're trying to prevent ESD, electrostatic discharge. And this time, once again, not to just keep repeating myself, but if you're just tuning in, this is this month's A Plus study group, where I prepare 15 to 20 questions for you guys to help you study for your 901 or 902 exams. So, and after the study group, stay tuned because we're going to open this up to an Ask Me Anything, where you can ask me really anything in regards to the IT field, whether you're looking just to enter the IT field, what exams you should take, college degree versus certifications, you name it, you can ask me. So, alrighty. I hope everyone's got their answers in because we're going to reveal it now. What action should you not perform while servicing the computer? The correct answer is C and D. Ensure that the room in which the computer is serviced is cool and dry, and ensure the room in which it is serviced is carpeted. I'm sorry, that's supposed to be in which the computer is serviced, but you guys got the gist of it. So carpet, as many of you know, I don't know if you can hear that. I was dragging my feet on the carpet. Generates static electricity. So if you're trying to prevent electrostatic discharge, you definitely don't want to be working in a carpeted room. And then a cool and dry room also can generate static electricity. So that's another reason you would not want to work in a cool, dry room. So, awesome. Now, one can kind of trip people up. That's why I like throwing that in there. I think that's the second time I've actually put that question in, just worded it a little bit differently. Alrighty. You have been assigned a troubleshooting job for a user in Human Resource Department. When you arrive, you notice that a spreadsheet that contains confidential employee information is open on the user's computer. What should you do? A. Minimize the spreadsheet. B. Leave the spreadsheet alone as long as the user is present. C. Close the spreadsheet. Or D. Ask the user to close the spreadsheet. So you come in to troubleshoot a human resource department's computer. A spreadsheet open that contains confidential employee information. What should you do? What is the best answer? Because remember, CompTIA always wants you to answer with the best possible answer. Because a lot of these, yeah, I can see myself doing, but what is the best thing you should do? So, alrighty. Excuse me. Sorry. Muted my mic there while I coughed. All right. It looks like I've got quite a few answers rolling in here. I just lost my chat where I can see it. All right. So let's go ahead and see what the correct answer is. The correct answer would be D. Ask the user to close the spreadsheet. Yes, you could say minimizing would be a good answer because then you're no longer seeing it. But, or closing the spreadsheet, but also closing the spreadsheet, the information might not be saved, or you might be destroying something. So the Kevin runs on dark and hit the nail on the head. At least personally, I would let the user close Windows so I don't accidentally delete something they're working on. Yeah, so that's why I wouldn't close it. You'd ask the user to close it, and then you just don't want to open yourself to that risk of exposing yourself to information that you probably shouldn't be exposed to. In the IT field, you will be exposed to that information. You will have access probably to that information. A lot of the IT, especially if you're a system administrator, you'll have access to a lot of things that a lot of people don't have access to. You'll be able to see things, but you need to make a conscious decision not to misuse that power and intentionally look at things you're not supposed to. So. Oh, Tyler. Sorry, I was just reading Tyler's comment. He had a user ask them to go through their computer and clean up a bunch of old files. I said, no way, I don't know what files you need and you don't need. Absolutely. Now, there's some things you probably could have done, like a disk cleanup and stuff like that, but, actually sifting through physical, like Excel documents and Word documents, absolutely not. Yeah, I agree with you there. Alrighty. Thomas is teaching a class to new users and wants to cover what to do and what not to do online. He specifically discussed spyware and malware infections and how they occur. What are some warning signs that that he should teach them to be aware of? So, Thomas is teaching a class about what to do and what not to do online. He specifically discusses spyware and malware infections and how they occur. What are some warning signs he should teach them to be aware of? Choose all that apply. So, first possibility. A. Add remove program console has programs you don't recognize. B. The browser's homepage changes unexpectedly. C. The firewall and antivirus program are randomly disabled. Or D. The taskbar or system tray has strange icons. So what are some warning signs that you might have spyware and malware infections? Choose any answer that applies. Any and all answers. So this one's worded kind of funny. This one might trip up a few people. But what are some warning signs that you have spyware and malware? Seeing a lot of answers come in. What are the best answers is the true question. Got A, B, C, D. Got B, A, C. Alrighty, should I reveal it? Alright. Correct answer is all. All of them, all the above. I didn't put all of the above because I thought it'd be funnier to have a screen full of green here for you guys. So, but yes, all of them are. All these are a sign that you may potentially be infected with spyware and malware. So this is like out of the 902 series where they talk a little bit more about security, and this is one thing you have to know. So, awesome. Well, look. And I can guarantee you almost all of you have been there, at some point in your life you've been infected with malware or spyware some way or another. So, all right. Edith and Clarence are studying for their A+ exams. They want to learn more about NTFS versus shared permissions on a Windows 8 computer. Which of the following statements is false? Shared permission includes read, write, and full controls. NTFS permissions include read, write, modify, and full controls. Share permissions can be assigned to users and groups, and NTFS permissions can be assigned to users and groups. Which of the following statements is false? Okay, we're talking about NTFS permissions versus shared permissions on a Windows 8 computer. Tyler, you've never had spyware or malware. I kind of find that hard to believe. Maybe you just don't know you have it yet. Tyler, you got to guess. Everyone's got to guess. Come on. Some good guesses coming in. Good answers coming in too. So which of the statements is false? And file share permissions and NTFS permissions, those can be a bit tricky. You have to really do your research on those. So, alrighty. So A is false. Share permission includes read, write, and full control. That statement is false. So that one's a little bit tricky. I don't think anyone actually got that one. Yep. Nice try though. Absolutely. If you're not sure, put an answer out there. Guess. Because they won't mark you down for guessing the wrong answer. They'll mark you down if you don't answer at all though. And apparently, that is it. So that is it for this month's A+ study group. I'm going to get some things rearranged here so we can do some more chatting. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them into the chat. I'm pulling up the question form right now. Alrighty. Doesn't look like we had any questions submitted into the question form. So this time I'd like to open this up to an Ask Me Anything, where you guys can chime in the chat if you have any questions in regards to either your A+ certification, entering the IT field, what certification should you get? What does the IT field pay? Anything, really anything in regards to IT. Feel free to drop them in the chat. I will answer them the best I can. I tried to make this A+ a little bit more difficult. I weighed in a lot to the 902 series exam. I know a lot of people, the 901, they'll blaze through that. And the 902 has, a wide range of security, mobile. You get into the command line of of either Windows or Mac or Linux. So I try to really broaden the answers here. So Dan, I am studying for your A plus. Dan, which A plus are you taking currently? Are you looking at the 900 series, your 901 or 902, or you could just jumping right ahead and studying for your 10 series? Right after this, you're gonna finish reading your chapter on remote connectivity and network plus book. Awesome. And in all honesty, so I got my A plus exam scheduled here on the 15th of this month. So Tuesday next week, or this upcoming week. I guess we're already in this week now, technically. So Tuesday, I'm taking my 902 exam. As long as I pass my 902 exam this week, I'm going to jump right into my Cisco CCENT and CCNA studies. I'm going to just dive right in. And with that, I plan on doing a new series, a new study group series, where I do labs, or I do live labs with you guys. I do kind of a Q&A section and all that. And if a lot of you guys are still interested in this A plus series, let me know, and I'll continue to do this A plus series even after I've passed my exam. But yeah, there's another thing I plan on incorporating into the channel is my Cisco studies. So Dan, you're taking your 902 February 12th. I wish you luck. So by then, we may have another study group come out by then. Let me take a look. So I did this one a little bit of, I guess technically it's this week. So the first week of the month, I typically do an Ask Me Anything, and then the third week of the month, I'll do a A plus study group. So I kind of pushed this one a little bit early, just selfish reasons because my exam. But by then, we might have another study group. So keep an eye out. And by all means, Dan, if you haven't checked out the other study groups we've done, I think our first two study groups we did were over on the IT Career Questions page, their YouTube channel, and then I've done 2 official ones here, 3 and 4, and then I did 2 kind of unofficial study groups in between. So take my net plus middle of February. Awesome. I'm so, it pumps me up so much seeing everyone out there getting certified. I mean, your IT certifications really is the concrete way to show that your skills. So, that certification there, having your certifications really goes improve. And Dan, if you haven't already, or any one of you guys studying for your A plus certifications, go to CompTIA's website. I just dropped a link in the description below, and check out, go over the exam objectives. So go over the exam objectives. See, make sure just what I personally did is I printed them out on a piece of paper, and I highlighted things that I knew I wasn't super strong about. I needed to study more. And I crossed out things that I knew I had down pat. So that's what I personally did, and it helped me a lot. Another thing I did, and I sound like a broken record here, but I went online. So I currently subscribe to IT Pro TV. I went on their e-learning platform, and they have practice exams. And I did a practice exam. I actually just did one last week. I got about 70%, to be honest with you. But in my defense, I was like half asleep when I did the exam. And the last 20 questions, I was so dang tired. I just clicked A for the answer on all of those. So, I know I could have done better. And I've reviewed those questions I got wrong since. And I'm like, oh, that's why. Why did I get that wrong? So, but yeah, that really gives you a shows you what you need to learn. And matter of fact, if you want, Pluralsight also offers online practice exams. If you go down the description and click the link, we actually have a 10-day free trial of Pluralsight where you can sign up for Pluralsight for 10 days for free. Go take your practice exams and practice with that. So if you haven't already, check it out. Links in the description, right at the top of the description there. So, alrighty, back to the chat. Just so for job placement afterwards, that Dan, you got your exam coming up really soon. If you're out there job searching now, Make sure you put that on your resume still. Put your like A plus in progress. I can pull up my resume from when I was job searching. I think I did this during one of my last live streams here. So it should be easy to find. Of course not. All right. Well, I'm going to pull up my resume here so you guys can take a look at it and gripe at it and tell me how horrible it is. So when I was starting to job search here, I put my A plus exam on my resume and said in progress. That I was working towards it. So here we go. Got it already. So here's my resume before. Let's scroll up so you don't see that information. Anyways, before I got my current job, this hasn't been updated in a long time. But what I wanted to show you guys is this here. Currently enrolled in CBT Nuggets, CompTIA A plus 902 exam, final exam scheduled. And also, I was working at the time on my CCNA and ICND 2 exam. So, this year was a big door opener and got you the interviews before you had your CompTIA A plus. To say you're working on it and be honest with people when they ask you about it. Be 100% honest. Be like, yes, I'm studying it. I've already got my exam scheduled. That there will be major for you. So I just want to take a quick moment and show you guys that. And there we go. All right. Getting back here. Kevin runs on Duncan. I'll probably finish the book in the next 2 weeks and schedule the test for 2 weeks after that for the Net Plus. Then finally studying for RHCSA. To be 100% honest with you, Kevin runs on Duncan, I don't know what RHCSA stands for. Maybe I should Google it here. Maybe it's something I should look into. Maybe something I should learn. RHCSA. Entry-level certification that focuses on actual competency of system administration, including installation and configuration of Red Hat Enterprise Linux systems and attaching it to live network function networking service. Oh, it's a Red Hat certification. Awesome. That's really cool. How many hours per day do I study? I don't know if you should measure it in per day that I personally study. How many hours per week? I probably put in, I would say on a safe low number, 4 to 5 hours maybe per week. That might be a high number. I don't put in as many hours as I should. I work full time as an IT support specialist, 3 kids, wife. I travel a lot for work. I have the YouTube channel here, so I don't study near as much as I should. But, it all depends on how well you absorb the information. I've tested myself several times. I feel pretty confident going into this that I should be able to do well. So it really depends on everyone's, own way how they study, how much time it actually takes you to study. So do you recommend taking the IT fundamentals before the A plus, Dan? Dan, you're already going for your 902, I think you said. I wouldn't even bother going back to taking your fundamentals. If you have no prior IT experience and you're debating if the IT field is right for you and you have zero knowledge in IT, go take your fundamentals at that point. But that's really meant for someone who has almost no prior working knowledge of the IT field. So, fundamentals. Personally, I think it's a little bit more of a waste of time, but I already had some background in the IT field, so yeah, that's my 2 cents. Yeah, Tyler right there answering it. Yep, Kevin runs on Duncan, nail on the head. If you have zero experience at all using a computer, that's who the fundamentals for. Excuse me. I've taken the CompTIA Networking Technician Program course, so I should be okay for the IT fundamentals. Or taking the computer networking technician program course. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and Dan, you're already studying for, I think you said you're 902. Yeah, your 902 exam. So you're more than good. Don't bother taking your fundamentals. Don't go backwards. So after your A plus, depending on what you want to do, dive right into another certification. So you've already started your A plus. Just continue with that. Do you have any tips on troubleshooting, Florence? What kind of troubleshooting? Um, you know, like, are you talking about like desktop support, like computer issues, networking, like where to look first? Give me a little bit more there to work with there, Florence. Google. Google is a big one. Uh, I don't know if about you guys. On my screen, my video feed keeps on flashing. If it keeps on flashing for you guys, let me know. So, Dan, anytime there. So yeah, um, Florence. I'm just gonna kind of go with this until you chat back and let me know what kind of troubleshooting you're looking at. Don't be afraid of Google. If you're in the IT field and if someone tells you they never get on Google, then they're lying because everyone every day in the IT field pretty much uses Google. It's a huge resource. So desktop support. So a lot of companies like my own, we use an online ticketing system. So one thing you can do is you can search your internal tickets you have, like if you have your help desk position, and go back through all your old closed tickets and see if there's a solution there, or if your company has a knowledge base or a wiki. And then if it's still something you don't know and it hasn't been covered before, the problem hasn't happened before, reach out to Google, start doing some research on Google. And then if you've exhausted all your possible troubleshooting options, reach out to a coworker. Coworkers 9 out of 10 times have no problem helping you out answering those kind of questions. So, excuse me. Um, my first desktop support position. I'm right there with you. I mean, I've just landed my first IT support specialist position. I do a little bit more than desktop support. So, but yeah. Um, but absolutely, I mean, check your ticket system, which is one thing I'm guilty of not doing enough of. Looking through my prior tickets, see if this issue has happened before and what the solution was, and then do more research on Google. Go out there to Google, research a problem. You're not the first person to run into this problem. I guarantee you, and I guarantee you, someone's documented it for you. So there's a lot of resources out there. Another one out there is a Spice Hits, not Spice Hits, Spice Works. Let me pull it up here. I use it personally a lot at work. So, Spiceworks. Spiceworks is actually the ticketing system I use at my work on a day-to-day basis. But they have a huge, and when I say huge, I mean a huge online community where you can just chime in and ask questions. Or, right here, look, ask a question, boom. You got to sign in and all that. So, but you can just ask a question, and it's almost within minutes you got answers, like several answers. So, let's see. Oh, it wants me to sign in for everything. Okay, hold on a second. I want to show you guys this because I think it's a cool feature. Let me sign in. Okay, one more second here. Okay, so right here. So I clicked ask a question and it brings me right here. Get answers from the community. So you have put a title in, what problems you're having, screenshot if you can not disclose company personal information, and boom. Let's go into answer questions. Let's look at some of these questions here. So, and really, some people are asking questions. Unusual Outlook issue when after Exchange and Office upgrade. Really, people are asking questions all the time, and these questions are not very old. I mean, asked just earlier today, and it's a weekend, so not too many people are on here as much sometimes, but you'll get answers right away. I've asked questions and minutes later I've had answers. So check it out. Spiceworks, awesome. And on a fun note on that, actually Spiceworks is hosts a yearly convention, and let's see if it's they typically got it plastered all over here. Spice World right here. Spice World 2019. I am actually going. My work is sending me to Spice World, where Spice World is an awesome convention where you can actually meet up with other IT professionals out there and exchange stories, and they teach you tons of tools for networking with people. 60 plus tech sessions across key IT topics. It's an awesome conference, and I'm super pumped that I get to go to this. So this is one thing, actually, I don't know how much filming I can do for you guys here because I am actually doing this for work. So if I have free time in my spare time, absolutely, I'm going to do some filming, see if I can do some interviews. But the cool thing that's coming up here soon. So awesome. Alrighty. Florence, thanks for your feedback. You're welcome. Anytime. Alrighty. If you guys got any other questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. We'll probably be wrapping this up here soon. Don't quite know when my next live stream is going to be. Next weekend, I'm actually traveling to visit some family, potentially film a couple interviews coming up. We got a lot of content. I know I've been doing a lot of live streams lately, and I have a lot of film content that I just need to sit down and edit. I got a couple interviews with security professionals in the IT field, some penetration testers, some really cool videos coming up here soon. So make sure you guys are subscribed and got that bell icon hit. So, but yeah, any other questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. One of these days, my voice will start getting better again. I swear. This thing's been lasting 2 or 3 weeks. So, check this question form. No one ended up using it, but it's all good. So, alrighty. Well, it doesn't look like anyone else is really chiming in and got any more questions. So, I think we're going to wrap this A Plus study group up. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, hit that bell icon and subscribe if you haven't already. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it. If you're tired of these A Plus study groups, give it a thumbs down. That's okay. I don't mind. So if you want to see something different, let me know. Feedback's always great. And then in the meantime, if you're catching this on the replay, leave a comment in the comments below and I'll get back to you. I answer every single comment that comes in. So. Dan, any advice for study material for A+? So, Dan, there's a lot of resources out there. Free study material. Professor Messer offers some great courses. He also hosts a monthly A+ study group as well. So Professor Messer is a great resource on YouTube. Check him out. For a paid service, like an online platform, which you might get a little bit more out of, you'll definitely get more tools like practice exams, flashcards, and all that. One I've recommended quite a few times during the stream is Pluralsight. I have a link down in the description below, which is an affiliate link. It doesn't cost you any extra, but it gives us a little kickback to help support the channel. But anyways, the link down in the description is for a free 10-day trial, so you can go check it out and see if you like it. Another one we like a lot is IT Pro TV. I use that for my personal learning as well. CBT Nuggets is a little bit more spendy, but you get a lot with their subscription as well. So, you got to weigh your, free versus, paid, you get a little bit more out of the paid, e-learning platforms than the free ones, but, just what your budget can afford. Book-wise, I have 0 books I can recommend. I'm really not a book learner. If you guys see over here, I got, this is actually older ones, like my Cisco CCN, CCNA books and stuff like that. It's so hard to learn that way. I do have some interesting reads, though. Like, actually, I have this book linked up in the description. This is what I'm currently reading, Fishing Dark Waters. So, email phishing in a corporate environment is a big deal, and it happens a lot. Udemy has some good resources. You gotta be careful with Udemy. There's some great people on Udemy, like David Bombal. He puts out some great Cisco courses on Udemy. But there's some people out there on Udemy that are just in it for the money, trying to make a quick buck, and they're going to rip you off. So be very careful when you go on Udemy. Just personal experiences and stuff like that. So, anyways, going back. So the name of this book is Fishing in Dark Waters. I no, they're not paying me to talk about this at all. A family member recommended it to me, and it is an amazing book I'm currently reading. And it talks a lot about offenses and defense, the offensive and defensive side of malicious emails. So it's a really great book. I've just started it, but if you guys are looking for a good security book to read, it's linked up in the description below on Amazon, where you can buy it, ebook or paperback copy. Awesome book to read. So, sorry, went totally off topic there. So, oh no, she's saying use Todd books for sure. Yeah, and I got a couple actually CCNA books I'm getting currently, because that's the easiest way I found to kind of do some labs and stuff, and so I can create my own labs for you guys. So yes, I do use books for learning, but I really like the e-learning platforms. IT Pro TV and Pluralsight and CBT Nuggets are my favorites. And actually, I'm hoping so. I've been invited to go tour CBT Nuggets headquarters here in the town I live in. They're actually literally not even 5 minutes away from where I live. So that's one thing I'm really stoked for. I got to go behind the scenes. I really wish that Network Chuck was here in town. I could meet him, maybe touch the epic beard or something. But he is not. He is on the road. I think he's back in Texas. But anyways, I'm really stoked about seeing the behind the scenes of CBT Nuggets. So much stuff coming up, you guys. I can't even describe. Those Cisco books are good too, you guess. Yeah, these are good paperweights. I can't say they're not good. There is a lot of good information in these ones. This one, not so much because it's out of date. I mean, this is not even the current exam we're working on. There's good information, but yeah, I can't stay awake. I read these to go to sleep, it feels like sometimes. It's difficult. Put something down and everything falls over. So, alrighty. Well, I'm going to wrap this live stream up. That book's great. Just can be boring at times. Absolutely. And that's why I love the e-learning platforms like IT Pro TV and Pluralsight, and they just pump so much energy into their content. It keeps you motivated. It keeps you wanting to learn and watch the next video and the next, and keeps you learning. So, and I retain that knowledge better. If I'm excited about it personally, I retain the knowledge better. So that's why I use e-learning platforms. So that's why I recommend. And I'll never recommend something just to make a buck on here, guys. Any book, platform, anything I ever recommend to you guys, I've personally used and personally can attest to that it will help you learn. If I don't believe in it, I don't personally use it, I'm not going to tell you guys to go out and buy it. That's why I don't have those other books linked in my description. I just have the one book that I personally really enjoy and think would benefit you guys. So just know that I'm never going to, have a sponsor come on here just to make a buck. I only recommend stuff that I truly believe in. So with that said, I'm wrapping this up. I really hope you guys enjoyed this month's A+ study group. I'm going to continue this theme. I'm trying to put a video out every single week. Got a couple of good videos coming out. I don't know if I'll have a live stream until possibly next month, but that might be a lie. I might do a live stream later this week. So I started that new series, Help Desk, Some Travel Required. So whenever I'm on the road, I kind of like to do a little short live stream and just give you guys a little insight to my life on the road. So I'm going to be on the road again this week, so look out for that video. That'll probably come out. Other than that, I probably have a couple other videos coming out. So hope you guys enjoyed. Until next time, take it easy.